hello, and welcome to my show. This is the Harry James Taylor breakdown of the major college football conferences in the NCAA. We'll start in alphabetical order, including this one, the AAC, the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, and SEC. Starting with the newest member to the initiation of big-time college football, formerly of the Big East, now called the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. Welcome, first of all. May I be the first to welcome you to big-time college football. I'll break down a lot of the key matchups that they all have next, along with some of the dark horse games like ULM and Arkansas from last year, those kind of games. I'll break down the conference and offensive and defensive player of the year in this particular conference. This one, the American Athletic Conference. Dark horse games, as I said, are games that against smaller divisional schools. Oklahoma played Bowling Green in the past, etc., etc. The AAC, the American Athletic Conference, cannot afford to do that if they want to compete for national prominence. So they don't have any of those games. They don't have any dark horse games. As far as profile conference games, though, they do have quite a bit of those. One of the newer members, SMU, has a couple of them. They will host Texas Tech. So Texas Tech will be at Southern Methodist week 1 there in Dallas Friday night. Also in the non-conference, SMU will face Texas A&M and hopefully Johnny Football, in my opinion. I hope that thing gets all straightened out. And then SMU will continue their non-conference action with Texas Christian University, TCU. Another new member to this AAC conference and big-time college football, Central Florida. Their 2 non-conference games include a game against Big Ten player Penn State. That game will be played in Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. This is the same non-conference game that was played last year between Navy and Notre Dame. That game went so well that they've invited these 2 teams, Central Florida and Penn State, to play in that same game. Central Florida will finish out the non-conference season against SEC favorite South Carolina. The next team that we're going to talk about that has a big AAC matchup in the non-conference, no biggie for them. They were in the Big East. They've been in big-time college football. South Florida will host the University of Miami. And then they will also be hosted by, South Florida will be at Michigan State for their other big non-conference game. Temple makes their big-time move to big-time college football. They are at Notre Dame next year. At Notre Dame. That game should be pretty interesting. This next team, as I said before about South Florida, this team, no biggie. They've been here. They've been to the big time. They've been in big-time college football. They're from the former Big East. They've won that a couple of years. The University of Connecticut. They will host Maryland and they will host Michigan next season. Rutgers. They are not a newcomer to the big-time college football either. They will play Arkansas in Rutgers, in New Jersey. Of course, as the SEC knows, also Louisville, not a newcomer to the Big East. They beat a big SEC team. They'll play another one. Louisville will be at Mark Stoops and Kentucky. That game should be pretty interesting. Formerly Big East, Cincinnati. They have their 2 non-conference big-time games. They will play Purdue at Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati will be at Illinois. I believe that game is played at Soldier Field. And finally, Houston is welcome to big-time college football. And they will play one of the more profitable independent teams, Brigham Young. They will play them in Reliant Stadium in the non-conference this season. As I said before, with this new AAC, formerly of the Big East, not being as powerful as it has been with West Virginia and should be TCU in this conference till the Big 12 took them, they don't have the solidity, the solid power to have dark horse games. So they don't really have any scheduled in that department. So finally, let's break down how I think the conference will break down. The Big 12 champion is to play the Big East / AAC champion. I think that champion will be Cincinnati. That's right, Cincinnati. This is a team that doesn't change a lot. It doesn't change a lot offensively, doesn't change a lot defensively. Tommy Tuberville he took over for Texas Tech, he did okay there. I think that he's going to do a lot better now. He's more comfortable. He's in a more comfortable situation. I'm not saying it was right the way that he left Texas Tech, but he did leave Texas Tech. And I think the first year in the new Big East, AAC conference, I think he wins it. Right behind them will be Louisville and Connecticut. Behind them will be newcomer Houston. That's where they're going to finish. Along with former Big East Rutgers, newcomer SMU, former Big East member South Florida. Next comes Central Florida and Temple. And finally, they're going to be welcome to big-time college football, and they could be one of the worst in my opinion. The worst in the new conference, Memphis. Memphis, that's right. The players to watch for in this conference, no question who it is at quarterback. This guy had a huge game against basically at Florida, and that is Teddy Bridgewater. I think that he's going to get better as things happen now. And finally, defensively, staying with the Louisville field, Hakeem Smith will be the Defensive Player of the Year in the AAC. Of course, as I said, we have more conference breakdowns coming up. Stay tuned, and as always, love college football, baby. This is it.